Dramatic images of the invasion of Irpin, which is a suburb and a city 25 kilometers from Ukraine's capital Kyiv, have been captured on camera. These are the first credible images of airstrikes taking place in a major city in Ukraine. The images on your screen are hugely significant because for the first time, someone with a mobile phone in their car has been able to capture a dramatic bombing of the city of Irpin. Those two jets on your screen are Sukhoi Su-25 jets of the Russian Air Force, and they've just dropped bombs that you will see now exploding on the road in front of where this is being recorded. Shaky video, but an image there. You can see the explosion, the huge plume of smoke as the bombs hit the ground. Panicked citizens stopping their car, but someone still filming. This is a suburb of Kyiv. It's part of the Kyiv Oblast. It's about 25 kilometers from the Kyiv city center. This is a visible escalation in war and the first signs of air power coming in so deep inside Ukrainian territory. Gunfire, shelling and booming has marked the assaults on the outskirts of Kyiv so far. This is the first time that on camera we've been able to show you Russian jets dropping bombs very close to the Ukrainian capital. Remember that a Russian convoy consisting of armored vehicles, tanks, infantry vehicles is also heading on the ground to Kyiv, and this is what's happening from the air. On the ground and from the air, very, very unsettling images of airstrikes for the first time captured on camera. Remember, there are many fake videos doing the rounds. These ones are real, authentic and verified videos of airstrikes taking place in Irpin, just 25 kilometers away. Gaurav Sawant is in Kyiv. He's been reporting on these developments. Gaurav, the first images, Gaurav, of Sukhoi 25 jets that are flying as we speak 25 kilometers, no less than 25 kilometers away from where you are. They're dropping bombs, all of it captured on camera. These are airstrikes happening within the larger Kyiv area.
Shiv, now these airstrikes are happening in Kyiv, and we are in the heart of the national capital. As you can see in these images, we are driving to Khrushchev. This is the nerve center, and air raid sirens a short while back were an indication of the tension in the air, of the airstrikes that you are talking about. Left, right. Now we are heading into the heart of the city. As you can look around me, camera person Pawan Kumar is showing you what Kyiv looks like. And Shiv, the airstrikes are an indication that the battle is coming close. The artillery that's going off is an indication that the attacks are coming close. We are turning right. Left. We're turning left from this point. Shiv, up ahead there is a roadblock. There is no movement that's permitted. We are taking a road left to be able to get to the heart of the city. And just look around, Shiv. When we arrived here in Kyiv, this place was bustling. This is the town center. Shiv, there were thousands of people on this road. Now, not a soul in sight. An indication of the aircraft that fly overhead, an indication that the tension that you see all around, an indication that the tanks may soon be rolling on these very roads, ancient Kyiv, old roads here, cobbled roads here, but you could well see tanks, and that is why, Shiv, in a moment from now we will show you how multiple roadblocks are being set up virtually every few meters, so that the convoy that comes in does not have a through pass. Anti-obstacle system, anti-tank obstacle system coming up virtually everywhere here in Kyiv. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
A city, a 21st century city. This is the opera. This is the Kyiv Opera. Very, very famous, iconic Kyiv Opera is here, and it's just abandoned. Just a few senior citizens, ladies. This is the Kyiv Bank main building, locked, shut, barricaded. Windows barricaded, bracing for that airstrike. Okay, we are putting the camera down for a moment, Shiv, because again, it's a military checkpoint, and look at the stance of the security personnel here. Look at the stance. They have their guns in the cocked position as they check a vehicle, Shiv, because the information is that Russian Spetsnaz commandos have come in and these Russian commandos are trying to destroy these barricades. They are trying to ensure that people inside are not able to fight the Russian assault when it comes in. And Shiv, at this point of time, even ambulances are not being spared. In a moment from now, we may have to keep quiet, because the moment they start talking to you, they just want you to respond to what they say. So Shiv, tense morning in Kyiv.
Okay.
With me, of course, is Mr. Kuldeep Kumar, and as we approach the checkpoint, Shiv, look at the vehicle in front. The vehicle in front is being checked very thoroughly.
Yeah.
If you look like Russian, you are stopped, you are checked, your bags are opened. But fortunately, we've had a smooth ride because we tell them we are journalists from India.
What the Ukrainians claim is a Russian helicopter being shot down, maybe by a Stinger missile or some other kind of air defense system outside of Chernihiv. Are you hearing about this, Gaurav? What can you tell us?
Shiv, we are hearing a lot about the air defense system being extremely active here, and it's operating where we are. This is the heart of the capital, and in fact you have air defense system even here that is operating. We've barely crossed a checkpoint. 100 meters from that, another checkpoint very close. Okay, we are putting the system down because this is where the army is.
Yes.
We are going to meet a very senior government officer here in Kyiv, and that is why next to the government buildings there is massive military presence. Sir, ye gaadi rokiye, iske side se nikalo.
नहीं आप जा सकते हैं कि नहीं कर सकते.
Okay, Shiv, look at the barricades that are being put up here. We are not very far from where the top government officials sit, and we are seeking some permission to visit one of the places in the city where there are some operations that are currently on. But look at the amount of security that is being put in place, because this attack now is imminent. Imminent in the sense that the tanks are very close. They could be entering the city.
ये खत्म हो जाए तो दा.
They could be entering the city anytime. And
रुक दा.
Okay, nikle na. They could be entering the city anytime now, and that is why obstacles are being put all over the city to stop these tanks from coming in. Watch these images, Shiv. Watch these images. That's a crane that has just been brought in.
We can see what you're showing us, Gaurav. Keep going.
In the heart of the city. This is camera down. थोड़ा नीचे करके shoot कर भाई. This is where the presidential, this is where the entire security apparatus is.
From here.
Okay.
And the Intercontinental is about 200 meters from here.
So heart of Kyiv. This is what they are attempting to protect at all cost. Shiv, if I tell you about the anti-tank obstacle system that's been put here, you're looking at these big cranes. These cranes are putting these barriers, concrete barriers. Behind them are those hedgehogs. Behind them are tires that are filled with sand. Because if bullets fly in, or even if shells fly in, they hope that the tires will take the impact. And Shiv, all around me are soldiers. You look at these soldiers all around me with their small arms. I'm told also with their ATGMs, as we negotiate these barriers. These barriers are now in 4 to 5 levels. I mean, we zigzag through 4-5 levels of barriers just to get a few hundred meters. So it's not going to be a smooth ride for the Russians once they enter. Shiv, since you understand tactics so well, military tactics, an obstacle in itself is good for nothing unless that obstacle is manned. That obstacle is manned not just on ground, it's also manned from rooftops. It's also manned. It's also manned apart on rooftop, and it's manned from underground. So the fire could come from any direction, stalling the advance of the tanks. Again, iconic.
Yes.
The main church here in Kyiv, we are crossing that area. So every locality is being protected for the reason that this attack is now imminent. It could happen any time now. Air attack, you are reporting. Ground attack, we are watching. The air activity that you're talking about. यहीं पर खड़ा हूँ.
यहाँ पे जर्नलिस्ट कोई पास में जर्नलिस्ट खड़े हुए हैं, वो अपना इंटरव्यू ले रहे हैं. Okay. Gaurav Sawant.
A Su-27. You've seen in Operation Shiv. Apart from a Su-27, we are told that a missile was aimed at the presidential palace. A Russian missile was aimed at the presidential palace, and an attempt was made to target the president. They are saying that the missile defense shield worked. It shot down the incoming missile. The president, of course, put out those pictures. Apart from putting out the pictures, the president also said that you missed. I mean, he's telling the Russians, you missed my dacha. So there was an attempt to target their dacha here in this area. Shiv, again, as we drive towards the presidential palace, I'll show you another location where there's massive deployment. But for a moment, Shiv, as the police approaches us, I'm handing it back to you in the studio. We'll negotiate with these police whether we can move forward or not, and then we'll touch base once again, Shiv.
Stay safe, Gaurav. I'll touch base with you on the other side after you've shown the police and the security forces your papers. So that's what's happening in Kyiv on the streets. Like we keep telling you, we report from the streets, not like many other channels reporters who are sitting in their hotels and telling you that they know what's going on the ground. Take a look at these images right now that you're seeing on your screen, because these are images that have not been seen in the first phase of this invasion. These are Sukhoi-25 fighters of the Russian Air Force that are bombing a part of Irpin, which is a city within the Kyiv area. It's in fact just 25 kilometers away from Kyiv, not very far, practically a suburb just outside Kyiv. And the image on your left is of a pair of Sukhoi-25 fighters bombing a part of Kyiv. It's been captured on camera. We've got two videos of that bombing. We'll play out both of those for you. And on the right-hand side is an image that the Ukrainian government has issued. It's being posted by Ukrainian journalists as well, claimed to be a Russian helicopter being shot down on the outskirts of the city of Chernihiv, which has seen a large amount of destruction over the last few days. So you're looking at three different aircraft on your screen right now. Two Su-25s dropping bombs on a Ukrainian city, and on the right, a Russian helicopter allegedly shot down by Ukrainian air defense in the city of Chernihiv, which is well north of Kyiv, closer to the Russian border. So big images coming in right now depicting the use of air power, not been seen before. I should also provide some context that the Ukrainians have claimed to have shot down at least 4 Sukhoi-25 aircraft. The jets that you see in the picture on your left-hand side are aircraft that the Ukrainians claim to have shot down in large numbers. At least 4 of them are claimed to have been shot down. We don't know if it's the ones that you see on your screen, but those images are from the last 24 hours in Irpin, just outside Kyiv, suggesting that the Russian forces are closing in. They're using air power to bomb areas very close to Kyiv. There's also a huge, giant military tank convoy on the outskirts of Kyiv that's going to be moving in. We'll have those images for you in just a moment. That's the convoy that I want to show you now. India today has the first images. So far, you've only seen it from the sky. You've had a bird's eye view of that big military convoy. Now we get you the first images from the ground of that military convoy, apparently approaching the city of Kyiv from at least 3 different directions. The first images from the ground, from up close, of Russia's huge military tank convoy. You've seen satellite images, the ones on your left. Here are the close-up images for the first time of those tanks entering the capital city of Kyiv. Several Russian tanks advancing in an attempt to capture the capital city of Ukraine so that the political will of Russia can be imposed. That's what this entire invasion is about. Never lose sight of the fact that Russia wants to impose its political will, wants regime change, wants to make sure that Ukraine does not join NATO, which is something that goes way against Russia's security interests. And that's what this is all about. 64-kilometer long Russian military convoy moving towards the Ukrainian capital at this point of time. Gaurav continues to be with me. Okay, I'm just going to ask our producers. I have a sound in my ear. I'm going to ask our producers to tell us, to take us through to Gaurav right now, who's with me live from Kyiv. He's on the streets of Kyiv. Gaurav, we've talked about those images from the skies of those aircraft pounding cities just on the outskirts of Kyiv, and now these dramatic first images of that military convoy. It had stopped for a while apparently, but the Russians want the world to believe it's on the move again. The battle for Kyiv may be about to begin, and you're seeing signs there on the ground as well.
Shiv, we are watching scenes on ground as well. The way the preparations are on. The preparations are, you know, it's almost as if just before the battle, this is the final phase of preparation that we see on ground here. Look around me, it's all quiet. It's absolutely still. No movement whatsoever in the heart of the national capital. And why is that? Because either people have moved out or they are ducking in, bracing themselves for this imminent attack. What I can also tell you is that multiple, you're looking at those checkpoints. India Today's viewers have a ground, awareness situation in terms of the kind of checkpoints that are being set up, barricades that are being set up, and those barricades are being manned. Where we are right now, Shiv, is a very crucial government office, and that is why you see a lot of movement of government vehicles all around. We are trying to get some clearances in this area to be able to report the conflict as the conflict happens on ground. Here, maximum protection. This is the area that Russia would try to dominate in this conflict, for the simple reason that this is where the government offices are. They would want to take over this area to prove that they are well and truly in control of Kyiv. Shiv, the temperature right now is 1 degree. It's freezing. It's icy cold. It is windy. And this place slightly protected because of all the buildings that you see around me. But otherwise, the situation extremely tense, grim, cold. And it's that sense that it's that impending doom, despair, the way you may want to look at it. The artillery barrage that had happened in some localities, that was systematic targeting of surface to air missiles and ATGM locations according to Russian intelligence, and those were the areas that were targeted by the Russians. The Ukrainians are very apprehensive that there is this enemy within. Those who live in Ukraine, those who may be hiding here in Kyiv and guiding the Russian armor or the Russian infantry. And that is exactly why they are checking everybody. And now, Shiv, virtually everybody has a weapon here. Either the militia, the civilians have been armed, the army is anywhere with their weapons. There are foreign mercenaries who are operating here. So overall, the impression is that something really drastic could happen. And there have been instances, a foreign television channel, they were shot at. We do not know, the suspect it is suspected that the Russians shot at them. An Indian medical information technology student, he was shot at. So overall, the situation is very grim in this city. There is this tension, and for a moment I'll step back into the vehicle because we are being told to step back. There is some suspicion, and our Mr. Kuldeep Kumar, who's kind of translating for us, he has gone in to take those permissions. So before officials get very suspicious, why am I standing outside when everybody else has been asked to go in? I'm stepping back into the vehicle, Shiva.
That's fine, Gaurav.
Back over to you.
That's fine.
For more on what's happening. We'll park, we'll get to a safer area, and then we'll have a chat once again, Shiv.
Stay safe, Gaurav. We'll come right back to you. No risks whatsoever. Safety paramount as always. Bears repeating. Gaurav on the streets, he's going to give you a sense of what's happening as far as the government's perspective in Ukraine of where things are at. But look at those 3 images that we have on your screen. Su-25 jets pounding a city 25 kilometers from where Gaurav is standing in Chernihiv. That middle image, a Russian helicopter apparently shot down, claimed the Ukrainians. And on the right-hand side, that big giant military convoy of the Russian military bearing down on Kyiv. The signs are everywhere within Kyiv of the roadblocks, the hedgehogs, the preparations as well. Could the battle for Kyiv be the next big thing that we're going to see after day 10 of this invasion? Rajesh Pawar is also in Kyiv. He sent us this ground report from a citizen-manned checkpoint in the capital of Ukraine. Take a look at this.
Right now, I'm here on the outskirts of Kyiv, and this is a checkpost manned by the civilians. Look at the civilians holding weapons. They're checking every car. They're checking it for documents. They're checking it for any kind of material they're carrying. Can you show them? And here I was recording. These people came because they think maybe I'm a Russian agent. Maybe I'm someone who's passing information. So right now, there's an air of suspicion around.
Who are you?
I'm an Indian journalist, and I take permission. I take permission. I take his permission from him. I take permission from the commander. So right now, they want to know everyone who's talking, who's opening a camera here, who's recording anything. And if you can see here, look, there are civilians who are right now, show there please. Civilians manning this checkpost, checking every car coming in, and everything is being checked by them. This is Rajesh Pawar reporting for India Today. I'm here with a Ukrainian soldier, a girl, a very young girl who is fighting for her country, for Ukraine. And she has been very kind to give this interview to me. I'm right now standing on the outskirts of Ukraine, of Kyiv, near a military checkpost. May I know your name, please?
My name is Alina.
Alina, please. Okay, Alina, how old are you? How old are you? So what to be late?
Like 26.
26. And what were you doing before the war started? What was your job?
I worked in marketing.
You were in marketing. And for how long did you join army now? For how many days back?
Just as soon as the war started.
So as soon as the war started, you joined the army. And how has been your experience?
It's great. It's been great. We have all the needed supplies from volunteers because I'm in territory defense, not like the army itself. But all the people have been very kind, and like all the locals, they support Ukraine and they want to do like everything they can to help territory defense and army, because everybody is worried about the future of Ukraine and everybody wants, you know, to contribute and to make sure everything's okay and that Russia goes away.
And can I see your weapon, please? Can I see your weapon? All right, can you show the weapon, please? What weapon is this? What's the name of this rifle? Is it AK-47?
Yeah, it is.
Kalashnikov, 47 or what brand?
47.
47. Okay, and you can handle it very well?
I can.
Very good. Thank you very much. And you think you can defend, you can fight against the Russian army?
Yeah, we will definitely.
Voices from the ground in Kyiv. All signs in the city tell you that the capital of Ukraine is bracing for what could be a final defense of the city itself, because these are the images coming in on day 10. The first image of Su-25 jets bombing 25 kilometers outside of Kyiv in the city of Irpin. In the middle, you've got an airstrike and a helicopter being shot down allegedly by Ukrainian forces in the city of Chernihiv, which is just north of Kyiv. And on the right-hand side, that big, giant military convoy, first images of which from the ground have been put out by the Russian Ministry of Defense, and all of it pointed towards Kyiv. An encirclement could be afoot. There could be a move to besiege Kyiv from all sides, at least 3 sides so far. That's what the movements are looking like right now. We earlier spoke to Dr. Hannah Shelest, who is an editor-in-chief of Ukraine Analytica and a security affairs analyst based in Kyiv. Here's what she told me about this Russian convoy advancing towards the capital. Here's what Dr. Hannah Shelest told us. Many members of parliament we've been speaking to have said that the convoy was actually stopped some distance away by Ukrainian ground forces. It hasn't been able to advance. This video being put out by the Russians to suggest that it's on the move and approaching Kyiv.
It's already where these first satellite photos being made. You already can say that they've been approaching Kyiv. So it's just depending how you define their location. The real situation that they definitely stopped for some time, and they've been several versions why it happened. Somebody said that it is just to distract attention of the Ukrainian armed forces to concentrate on that direction and to open another road. The second version is that Russians are trying to regroup because now they have quite a dispersed forces around Kyiv, and they are trying to regroup to accumulate the forces that they need for the big strike. But the third version is also that they are limiting in supply, first of all, of fuel, because you understand that all of these cars, and that is the case already in many towns around the border, that they came, but they couldn't advance because Ukrainians managed to stop their logistics. So Bayraktar, for example, bombed the fuel cars, and without fuel they are not able to find any fuel on the ground because there is no support of the locals. And to bring it from Belarus, it means you need to pass again all those towns like Chernihiv where the heavy fightings are happening.